is one of those pivotal moments, the pivotal figures that is tied to so many iconic moments, good and bad. The slamming of Andre at WrestleMania 3, putting over the Warrior at WrestleMania 6, being the third man, the finger poke of doom.
He was the biggest icon and star of pro wrestling. He is the motor that made WWE become the WWE. He gave us one of the greatest heel turns of all time, if not the greatest heel turn of all time.
Yeah, I don't think Roman should be main eventing this any of the nights. It should probably be Naomi, Rhea, and Io. But it's not just because for equality's sake, it's because of storyline's sake. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and we have a jam-packed episode for you guys. We're going to be talking about SummerSlam and regarding the main events. There's going to be a little bit of controversy on that. We'll get into that later. And of course, when it comes to Roman Reigns, does it feel like he's doing side missions? And is the current storyline even worth his time? We're going to chat about that. So make sure you sit back, like, share, and subscribe, and let's take it to the table. We have a jam-packed episode for you guys. And for this jam-packed episode, I need to have an esteemed panel, and I've got three of the best in Wrestling Republic, all the way from Philly. It's none other than Anthony Ricciardi. How you doing today?
You know, it's always fun to. Am I muted?
No, you're fine.
All right, I'm good. All right, I saw the thing pop up in the corner, it threw me off. No, it's always fun to do these. It's been a while, and obviously Chaos summons the table, and only a few dare to answer the call. But let's get into this.
Yes. It's been a minute you've been at the table, but yeah, you had to be here for this one. And I'm sure you've got your matches and petrol ready at the helm to burn down the table as always. So I'm glad to have you here. All the way, well, not even all the way. We're in the same country, but he's obviously on another part. It's none other than Jordy in the bank. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm good. You have unmuted my mic. You nearly called me out as well. I don't like not being in control. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm back at the table. I feel like it's been a while. Things have just been getting in the way, and I've been struggling. Listen, Chaos has extended the offer a couple of times, and I've just not been able to make it. But I'm back. Big dog's in the house. Big dog on heat. So yeah, now I'm back. I'm ready to put someone through the table.
That was so like random. I didn't even expect that. I was like, okay, cool, fair enough. Everyone, welcome to the table, Butch. Anyway, no, welcome back.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
Sorry, that was too easy. But
by the way, is Jordy's bark noise going to be used in future episodes at random intervals?
Oh no, he's definitely that's getting clipped. That's definitely getting clipped.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much for that, Jordy. Don't worry. I'm not even gonna let you do an intro. I'm just gonna say, okay, and this guy is here. I'm gonna do so. Yeah,
it's either the dog-faced gremlin or Jordy.
I'm here for the content, boys. I'm here for the content. That's what I bring.
YouTube, right? That's why we're on YouTube for content. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And obviously, last but not least, back at the table, we all know he's one of the regulars, and he's part of now the obviously we're back. We reunited on the daily on the Tuesdays. It's none other than Shad. How you doing today, sir?
What's going on, man? Shad talks graps. I'm back here. I would have muted him mid-bark if I was you. This isn't my place to host, so I won't do that. But yeah, Braun Breaker, you look like you got a small pup, Scrappy Doo, coming for your spot.
He would be staring at my chest. I'll have you know, and then he would. He
is awfully tall.
Then he would run straight through it, and I would be on the floor.
That is what I would pay to see. I'm not gonna lie, but
attendees would go everywhere.
Yeah, I know, right?
Attendees will fly out like Sonic with the rings.
Yeah, exactly. That's the graphic. Chaos. Make the graphic.
I might have to do that. For real.
It's got, and then make the bark the noise instead.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. I'm
Speaking
definitely
of
doing
side
that.
missions, that would be the one.
100%, 100%. Well, yes. Now, welcome back to the table, guys. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about, regarding SummerSlam and Roman Reigns. But first, we have to talk about something that was pretty unexpected to the wrestling community, and it is of course the passing of the one Hulk Hogan. He passed away earlier today at age 71. And yeah, you don't even need to be a wrestling fan to know who Hulk Hogan is, or sorry, I say was. He's been such a staple in the entertainment industry, done so much for wrestling, back in the heyday. Yeah, it's one of them. It's definitely one of those people where you thought they would literally live forever, to see.
Immortal.
Yeah, he literally pretty much lived up to that moniker. Even though if it's not him,
Mhm.
then it's Vince. I feel like those two people, like once when that actually does happen, because we all meet our time at some point, it's gonna shake the foundation of just the world, because
Mhm.
those are just two names that that's just such a staple name in the industry. So yeah, man, it was quite unexpected, quite untimely, especially regarding that he's meant to be starting a new promotion with Eric Bischoff.
Mhm.
Was it Real American Freestyle Wrestling?
Mhm.
And yeah, this was just totally out of nowhere. So I just always wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and like how did you feel about this this news? Because let's be honest, I mean, this guy has had a storied career, both good and bad. Let's be
Yeah.
real. And he's been rightfully called out for certain things that he's said and done. But that doesn't take away the fact of the stuff that he's done for the industry, and
Mhm.
you just put it in such a place where it is right now. He's one of the the staple names. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to obviously just gauge your guys' thoughts, and when you heard this news, and how does this guy did this man like have any impact in your love for wrestling, and if there is, what were your favorite Hogan moments? But we'll get into that a little bit later on. So yeah,
Mhm.
let's just start with Anthony, because I think out of all of us, really,
Mhm.
like you've seen more of his
Yeah. His run.
career, like obviously
Mhm.
with WCW and all that. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you saw this news, what was your thoughts? And yeah, let's break it down for us.
I was literally at a birthday lunch. For me, coworkers took me out, and I got the Bleacher Report notice on my phone, and I'm like, oh, wow, shit. Hogan died. And the other person at the table went, he's the third, because this week
Mm,
Malcolm Jamal Warner, famous for the Cosby Show as Theo, Ozzy Osbourne, and now Hogan. That's your
mm,
three, which the celebrities always go in threes. It seems to be. But Hogan is in a lot of ways a controversial figure, good and bad. That's true with anybody. I'm not making light of any of the stuff that he did, not making any excuses. But in a lot of ways, covering Hogan's death in a lot of ways is going to be like covering Vince's eventually,
mm,
because they made such a huge impact on the business, but stuff outside the ring kind of, not kind of, but does impact the legacy. It's both good and bad, like you said, Chaos. I became a fan in '98, so at that point it was after Hulkamania in the '80s. But even growing up, even with not being a fan, I knew who Hulk Hogan was. He was one of those names. You knew him. You knew Macho Man, because they branched out into other things. Like
mm,
the first time I saw Hogan was probably as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. That was probably the first time I saw Hulk Hogan that I could recall. Like Macho Man was the Slim Jim commercials. Andre the Giant was the Honeycomb cereal commercials. But Hogan's impact on the business, there's no WWE to the level it is right now. And the industry itself is not in the position it currently is in if there's no Hulk Hogan. Hogan drove that business in the 80s, then did it again in the late 90s with the NWO and being the third man. Uh, this business is not in the position it's in right now. He is one of those pivotal moments pivotal figures that is tied to so many iconic moments, good and bad. The slamming of Andre at WrestleMania 3, putting over the Warrior at WrestleMania 6, being the third man, the finger poke of doom. You know, there are so many things. Him and Rock at WrestleMania, icon versus icon. You know, Hogan's impact to this day, Hulkamania stuff is still selling. NWO stuff is still selling. Good, bad, or indifferent. That's because of Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, you can say whatever you want negatively. You know, I don't condone any of the crap that he did. But if I'm going to focus on the positive, because that's what you should probably do in this situation, and not just bury him in this situation. But, you know, the positives that he gave back to the business. And I always go back to the Make-A-Wish stuff, because he was, prior to Cena, I think he was one of the top ones that did Make-A-Wish stuff and did a lot of that charity stuff. So I give him credit for that stuff. But obviously, I don't respect him in the same way that I did before all the controversies.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You know, it's definitely something that is very hard to gloss over, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you just can't just overlook the impact of the business that he's had and stuff.
I do have one quasi funny story it's Hogan related adjacent. Some years back, I had bought a 16 by 20 autographed Roddy Piper piece that I saw online, authenticated, all that stuff, signed by Roddy Piper, and it's inscribed, "I'm the reason Hulk Hogan has no hair." Fast forward a few years later, I'm at a convention and Piper's there. Now, I never thought I was going to meet Roddy Piper. He was there, still the cheapest autograph I've ever gotten in my life. He was 20 for an autograph, 10 for a picture.
Wow.
Okay, I get in line for Piper, and he's giving time for everybody. He's not even sitting at the table. He's standing up, talking to everybody like they're the only person there. Piper is, without a doubt, to this day, the nicest one I've ever met out of any of them. So he's signing an autograph for me, because I'm like, oh, you know, it's Piper. It's here. I'll get signed to me, you know, all that stuff. He's signing it, and I tell him the story that I bought this piece, never thought I would say him. And he stops signing, looks at me, and goes, "I get in so much trouble for that shit." And he finishes signing the autograph. So, like I said, Hogan adjacent.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, all the Roddy Piper. That is, you know, that's God bless him for sure. But yeah, it's like I say, you just can't overlook obviously the impact he's had on the business, and like you say, you named just only a few of his iconic moments, you know, and it's, you know, it's obviously it's crazy how one person can have so many iconic moments and
generations,
you know, and across generations as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, the loss will be felt somewhat. Yeah, like even more so. I think over time, people will just will fondly remember, you know, the good times, other than, you know, the questionable stuff that he's done and said before.
I think for some people, I'm not saying for everybody, I think for some people, they're able to separate the character from the person.
Yeah.
Unlike, let's say, obviously it's not an apples to apples comparison, but somebody like, for example, a Chris Benoit, because there was no character. It's the name. It's the same. You know, everything was the same. Maybe I don't know. There's always going to be people that don't condone, that don't like Hogan, and there are going to be people that will he's beloved. Like, I always feel like there's two sides of the person. I could look at the positive stuff. I could watch a match and recognize the character, but I don't condone the person behind it. Like a Kevin Spacey movie, perfect example.
Or Kanye West. This is
yes.
Like him as an artist, hate him as a person. I get it. That's fine.
That's the one for me personally.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Jordy? What's your thoughts on the news? How did it affect you in any way, or is there any moments that you can recall that or at all about regarding Hulk Hogan? What's your thoughts on the whole news?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one for me. Obviously, I'm a fan of wrestling. I love wrestling. Therefore, I absolutely respect what he brought to the industry. And this, it goes without saying, I don't agree with the stuff that happened that he said in his personal life. That, yeah, it absolutely goes without saying. I'm talking about the character here. But even so, for me personally, it was just probably I was just past it. The big memory that I have of Hogan, and it is a good one, is him and The Rock stood in the ring at Mania, looking around, and just that atmosphere that only at the time probably only those two could create. I guess you could say that The Rock and Stone Cold had it maybe, but you know what I mean. It was just such an incredible clashing of the Titans, and that's the one that kind of, if you say Hulk Hogan to me, but again, I wanted him to lose because I was always a fan of The Rock, so I don't have this kind of investment in my heart that like, I was never a Hogan guy. But that aside, that's irrelevant. I do absolutely respect what he brought to the industry. He was a trailblazer. He was one of a kind. We'll never get another like that. Like Hulkamania was its own thing. It's just, and like we mentioned Ozzy Osbourne as well. Like, to lose these two names, like, this is household names. This is beyond. You don't have to be a metal fan to know Ozzy. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to know Hulk Hogan. These are huge names that we've lost. And to be honest, both Hall of Famers, right? So it's yeah, to lose just such an icon of wrestling, like someone I found out, it popped up on my phone. I can't remember, someone messaged me and stuff, and it was just like, you go and look it up yourself because you don't believe it at first. You're like, no, this must be one of them things, like one of them mad Twitter things where, like, do you know what I mean? Like, someone's died and they haven't. It's like, it's just a weird rumor, but no. On this occasion, it is real, and it's and first and foremost, and it absolutely goes without saying. Yes, he was Hulk Hogan, but right now, there's people, there's partners, there's kids that are mourning the loss of a loved one, and that's sad. And there's a lot more people out there that are a lot more invested in the character than I was. So there'll be people shedding tears and watching clips back and reminiscing. And the word immortal gets thrown around, but I know it's not in a literal sense, but he is immortal. Like, he always will be. Hulk Hogan will live on. His theme song will ring through the times of wrestling forevermore. Like, he just, like I said, you can't replace him. And I absolutely always have and always will respect what he did for the industry, because we probably wouldn't be sat here today talking about it, having a avenue to talk about it, because it probably wouldn't have got to the levels it did. So I'm forever thankful for that. And yeah, it's the world of wrestling is going to be very different. And I know he's not been a huge part of it for however many years, but yeah, it's just strange to know that he literally say at the last Rumble, like, I've got one more in me or something like this, and everyone's like, please don't let him bring him out. Like, but like, you just always felt like at any point, even though he's 71, he passed away at the age of 71, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that old. But like, you always just kind of felt, you never know when you're going to hear that music hit. And it's sad that it's sad in a way that now we won't. And I'm sure we will for other reasons, but you'll never see him come out doing doing all this and that. And yeah, the world has lost an icon, realistically. So it's a sad day. And yeah, of course, thoughts go out to those more affected than me, to be honest.
Honestly, if you look at that peak era when all that stuff, the last Mohican left, if you want to say it is Flair. Flair's the last one of that generation.
Yeah. In terms of big names, no, 100%.
I mean, other than Vince, but like, as far as like in ring talent, like Flair's it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I agree. Like, I just, in terms of finding out the news, I literally woke up from a power nap. I was only asleep for about an hour and a half, going 2 hours, and then my phone
was a hell of a power nap.
Hell, I know, right?
That's just a nap, bro. That's just
No,
in
no,
you.
I'm trying to make it
Imagine when
sound
Chaos
nice.
sleeps, the world falls apart.
100%. I never do power naps. I was like, I swear that was my first nap in like years, and
Don't
I
do
You
it
killed
again.
somebody.
Don't do it again, bro.
I can never take naps ever again because I have.
I don't either, but because of like what I do now, I was just so I had to be up from like 5 a.m. So I'm like,
Mhm.
let me just have a little one, and then the whole world fucking falls apart, and it was just I was because at first all I got was just the graphics. Someone just said Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan 1960 something to 2025. I was like, that's got to be a rib.
Here's the thing. I wasn't entirely shocked, only because recently Bubba the Love Sponge, not that I follow it, but I've seen a couple posts where apparently he kept saying he's heard from people that are close to Hogan that he was in bad shape. Now, the
Right.
family, I think, denied it. Jimmy Hart denied it. But, like, the seed was at least planted in my head of going, he might have health issues. Like, there might be a ring of truth to this because he himself hasn't come out and said,
I mean,
I'm good, brother. Like, none of that. It was all other people.
To that also, like you mentioned, the whole promotion that him and Bischoff have been working. Bischoff has been very prevalent on the media run for it. They just obviously snagged a deal for it to be on Fox with Friends, the network. And I didn't see Hulk Hogan on anything. Also, with the standpoint that out of those two, Hogan is he was at the
Hogan,
RNC. You know what I'm saying? For Trump's election. So he's way more prevalent to that network and that base of that network than Bischoff.
Yeah.
So to me, it was kind of strange. I was like, I wonder what's going on. Like, I don't see him during this whole media, but I haven't heard him say anything about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I don't know if that's even going to happen now. Like, Hogan's the name that was the driving force behind it. So, I mean, I know Bischoff.
TV deal.
Well, and the other thing is, like, the ticket sales weren't good. At least the reports that were coming out. I can't imagine that it's going to be. I would like to see them do at least one show if they want to do a tribute to him, and kind of like, hey, you know, we did his vision. We did
go up for that. Yeah.
Like, I think you could get people for that, but a promotion. I don't.
Yeah, no, a special.
It was going to struggle.
Yes.
Regardless.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, it's God knows what's going to happen with the promotion. I think they should definitely just swallow it and then just do a one-off tribute to him, and then because I don't think anyone really wants to see a promotion with Eric Bischoff at the helm as well. So it's
what
year is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Kurt Angle was the commentator, I believe.
Yes, he
was. Wasn't he announced as the commentator for this thing?
Yes, yeah.
Which
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. I don't know how I feel about it. Like today's Kurt Angle, like you can tell, obviously, like nowadays when it comes to promo work with Kurt Angle, is not the same as he once was before. So I don't know how he was
if it's American freestyle stuff, like it makes sense because he does cross both barriers, and it is a big name.
He would have a bit of like. It'd be like a soccer analyst or a NFL
like a sports mode. Yeah,
there's credibility to it.
Yeah, he's got credibility towards it. So that'd be interesting. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, that it's a wait and see situation.
You got to figure TNA is live tonight on Impact. Obviously, he was there. You got to do you got to do something because it's the first major professional wrestling program that's airing the day of. You have to do something.
Oh, they will, mate.
No, I know they will, but like you got to do the 10 belt. You got to do like a legit.
WWE production are probably helping out with it as we speak.
Probably. I mean,
TNA's production team they're quick, man. They the ones that post like matches like after Cody Rhodes finished his story, just a random match against Moose on like TNA on their free X and stuff like that.
Well, they were one of the first ones to jump on the Sabu situation when Sabu passed.
Yeah,
it's true too.
Yeah, I think that would do something. It wouldn't surprise me if it would just be a graphic, and then WWE would take the helm and let's be real.
I agree with you, Chaos. I think you could do the 10 belt, but I think out of respect, especially since they have the partnership, it's going to be there. AEW will do nothing. I don't think. Maybe they will. Because remember, wasn't Hogan banned So I mean, you still should do it because there is no AEW if there's no Hogan to drive.
So that's
the
what I'm
business.
saying. I think they would just do like either say something on commentary or maybe just do a quick graphic at the beginning.
Yeah, just hold up the graphic.
Maybe let like Jim Ross say something or something like that.
Well,
you know.
Shivani knew him from the WCW period.
Yeah.
Or Sting. Have Sting do something because Sting obviously has the connect, and they technically have Flair under contract. So you have two of his biggest rivals technically under contract that could record something for that.
No, 100%. All right, what about you, Shad? Do you have anything else to add? Like, what's your thoughts on the news and how impact you?
Yeah, I mean, I briefly talked about it on the Daily earlier today. I mean, in regards to my feelings towards Hulk Hogan, a performer, you have to have an ample amount of respect for his legacy, what he's done in professional wrestling. Like y'all mentioned, we don't have a lot of what we have today without him. He was the biggest icon and star of pro wrestling. He is the motor that made WWE become the WWE. He gave us one of the greatest heel turns of all time, if not the greatest heel turn of all time, joining the NWO. And, I remember watching him versus Rock at Mania, like, as a kid. So, like, a lot of that kind of is fresh. And I appreciate it, man. In regards to him and the aspects of what I don't respect, I hope, with correction to what happened with a lot of our favorites back in the day, I hope that today's wrestlers can learn from a lot of that mistakes and a lot of the stuff that we have. It reminds me of like the history books you see nowadays, right? You learn about all these forefathers, but then you learn about the disgustingness of how they are with people behind that, and I hope that we can learn in society from that. And I won't dwell on all that, man. None of that needs to be talked about. What the stuff that is, put under the microscope and criticized. All I can say is, man, praying for his family, his kids, during this time, and I hope the best for all the Hulkamaniacs out there too, man. Pro wrestling lost one of, if not the biggest star of all time today, man, and that's something that we should definitely focus on. So yeah.
No, 100%. Couldn't say it any better. I think his loss will be felt, even though like he hasn't been crazy active, in today's landscape. But like, he was easily the one that
I was saying on the Daily, bro. Like we be talking about him without talking about him, as like we talk about the whole Becky Hogan, the Mercedes Hogan stuff, right? We're talking about even his Netflix thing where he got booed, like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's been prevalent, and a lot of that comes with surprise because you would never know that. Like you still see he's old when we saw that, but like he doing the same, shtick. Like you doing the Captain Ginyu poses, and which is crazy. I thought about it just now. Like even his character was influenced by so much to like other stuff. Because like if you a Dragon Ball Z fan, like Hercule, Mr. Satan, like he was pretty much Hulk Hogan. Even somebody like All Might from My Hero Academia, I feel like his character, like visibly like the big jack dude with the blonde hair and stuff like that. A lot of that remind me of Hulk Hogan too.
It's kind of wild that Hogan was greatly inspired by superstar Billy Graham. Yes. So was Jesse Ventura. Jesse's the last one standing of those three. The NWO lost 2/3 of that group. Nash is the only one left. Yeah.
And I saw Nash
of the core trilogy of them. So it's one of those things that just, Kevin Nash, that's going to impact him, I'm sure, because he lost, obviously Scott Hall, son, Hogan. Like this is not, something that he wants to be. Oh, there's an NWO thing, and it's like he's going to be signing a picture with two people that are gone, because most of the photos will probably be like the three, like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that's just, it's, when a celebrity or somebody dies, I think people reflect more.
Oh yeah.
And the negative, not saying that it goes by the wayside, but you know, more people tend to focus on the
Yeah.
positive stuff. Let's just put
Just
it that
depends
way.
who you ask, doesn't it?
No, but you
Yeah.
know no, but you know what I mean. Like for
No,
a
I mean,
lot of times,
what I
it
mean,
happens.
what I meant by that is some people can, even if they really personally don't like him, can
Mhm.
say, "Look, it's not about that right now. That
Oh, yeah.
it's about it's." Do you know what I mean? But some people just can't do that. So
I think a
think-
but
perfect
obviously we can.
the Undertaker posted a tribute to him, and we know because Undertaker was not a fan of Hogan, but he still respected
Respect.
what he did for the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to celebrate someone, but you don't have to disrespect someone. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think anybody needs to celebrate them if they don't want to celebrate them for
Correct.
respectful reasons. But for me personally, if speaking about the ill towards those who are not with us, it's probably best not to speak about people in a negative light. Like not speak about a negative light. I feel like it's not a problem to have discussions about stuff like that.
Correct.
But I guess like in a disrespectful manner, right? Like celebrating somebody losing their life, like those type of things is.
Oh yeah, that's
what
that's
I'm
crossing
not
the
for.
line. Yes,
But I do think that having conversations about his legacy, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is not a problem. And for those who can kind of see the ugly, gloss a little bit more about the good, I'm not mad at them at that. That's just the
No.
reality of who he was as a person. And like he's like when you're that polarizing of a figure, I feel like it's just like it's a lot, man. Like
Yeah.
it's like Michael Jackson, man. Like when he passed,
Yes.
like a lot of like you hold such a place in your heart from the superstar that he was and the icon, but then there's a lot of the stuff
the controversy and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people hurting right now. And that's
you know what I always think of with situations like this, whether it's Hogan, whether it's Flair, whether it's Vince, whoever. I always go back to that one line in the Batman movie: "You either die a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that rings true with even this situation.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's true. And one thing you did also say, Anthony, earlier on regarding the pictures, like I do feel I agree. Like now, because of his, of his impact, I feel like seeing those pictures now will hit different. When you see that, when you see him with Nash and Hall with the first promo, when he was the third man, or when he's doing the face off with The Rock, I feel like those pictures will hit differently now.
Somebody did a graphic because the internet jumps on everything immediately, and they have Hogan at the pearly gates, and with other there's Andre, there's Bobby Heenan, there's Piper, there's Macho Man, there's and you realize how many have gone from that era that are no longer there.
Iron Sheik.
Yes.
I mean,
somebody said he's the first one that'll meet him at the game.
Yeah. Have a wrestling match up there, huh?
The fuck you doing there, Hogan?
What you doing here, Bubba? That's a big Sheik too. I love Sheik. That's the first thing I was like, dang, they gonna have a mania up there, huh?
Well, do you think about it? Like how many? Like it's somebody pointed this out, and it's wild to me. They said the first, if you're going of all the manias, the first mania, the first 11, not all the people on that card are alive. The first one is 12 that's left alive now that Hogan's gone.
Crazy. That's crazy to think. And it's crazy to think, man, because honestly, that's an era of wrestling that was way before my time. I missed it. Obviously, I was born in the early 90s. So it's scary to even think people were I mean, hell, man, we're seeing, his Jordy's favorite, his GOAT. It's his last title, it's his last reign, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, we've joked around a bit, but that was the one thing that entered my head. When I said, obviously, I'm not that invested. A time will come when the world loses John Cena, and I will be a mess. And there is people out there that Hogan meant that to them growing up. And
100%.
so
it's like
I feel
when
for
Kobe
them,
Bryant passed away. That was my childhood icon, and that shattered me.
Them untimely ones hit hard, right? Like Bray Wyatt, because it's we're way too soon.
Me and him was on air live when the news.
We were literally doing throwback, doing a tribute to Terry Funk. because he had passed the same week.
Yes.
And we were doing that. But you think of like people that have died, celebrities or whatever, like you remember when story broke of Michael Jackson, like you said, Shad, or a Robin Williams, or like one of these major names where you're going, no, what? And for a lot of people, that's Hogan. That grew up, that idolized him and stuff like that. So like it's relatable where you're like, oh no, this is a major name. Like this is not this is not just a random, this isn't, no disrespect, this isn't Virgil. And I'm not disrespecting Virgil, but you understand the magnitude of star power. This is a major name.
It was a transcendent, wasn't it?
Yes.
He went so much further than that.
Hey man, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. Before we move on, just wanted to make go on a happier note. What's your guys I wanted to ask you guys your favorite Hogan moment, whether it doesn't have to be like obviously because I know some of y'all.
You know what mine is? It's the episode. It was when he had that reality show, and he's in
Hogan
the car
and
he's blasting "I Love It" by Young Jeezy.
Oh yes, yeah. He's in the car, blazing it. Yeah,
this is so funny to me, bro.
Speaking of that, I remember one episode or something like that where he's yelling at Nick, going, you know how long it takes me to make that money? Because whenever he rang up like a credit card debt or whatever it was, and he goes about 15 minutes in the garden. I just remember him saying that, going, that is such a smart ass answer, but probably accurate. Like at the same time,
bang on. Yeah, it's absolutely right.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Rock and Hogan Mania. That's in terms of wrestling. That is the one.
There would never be anything like it.
No, when you say Hulk Hogan, I just picture them two stood looking or doing the look around as the crowd were just roaring. And
yes,
I think that's
they'd even lay a finger to each other. They even lay a finger, and you just the aura that them two have alone.
Yeah, to be honest, it wasn't. Was it? Well, it felt it to me because it was my two icons. But when Cena and The Rock did it as well, they love a stare at each other, look around. But and the NWO heel turn. Didn't see it live, was probably like 5, but I know it, I've seen it, and they're probably the two things that stick out most for me.
Wrestling wise, it's probably the NWO heel turn. Like say what you want to say. Like we were talking about, like him as an icon, as the babyface. When NWO hit the WCW, I mean, they was the bad boys, man. They was cool as shit, like spray painting stuff all the time. The
like,
music hitting and all that.
Yeah, like the fact that when it comes to that heel turn, the fact that people are saying that nothing has been bigger. If the only thing that's really superseded that is when John Cena turned heel. Like everyone's comparing like that. Is pretty much those are the two biggest heel turns in the business.
Honestly, I never felt the Cena one really is of the same magnitude, because I feel like the Cena one, obviously, I don't necessarily think has panned out. But when you're looking at the
actual moment in time,
the moment, you're looking at the moment was the overall impact. Like, I don't think anybody thought when Hogan had his run in the 80s that he was going to have another gigantic run. The fact that he had a second act, and it's equally, if not, potentially more successful. I mean, the royalty checks alone that he probably have gotten just from the Hulkamania and the NWO stuff is, more money than probably most people make in a lifetime. Because
the difference is as well,
yes.
The difference is as well. The look at who Hogan had next to him with Nash and Hall. In the heel turn, Cena had fucking The Rock and Travis fucking Scott. Do you know what I mean? Man. Like that's what's caused it. That is what's caused this problem. Hey, man, I won't go off on too much of a tangent, but the moment itself.
Hard on Travis nowadays, man.
No, it's the fact that nothing came from it, and now forever, they're gonna be there. That heel turn should have been Cena's and Cena's alone, and they didn't need to be there. It still would have been huge to see him go. It's just it's tainted it now, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's true, and I think that is probably we'll have to have this conversation maybe like years after this Cena stuff is done too.
Honestly,
Yeah, recency bias and now nostalgia bias with Hogan passing. It's probably swayed it. Everyone at the time was like, Cena's the biggest one, but now Hogan's passed everyone, and Cena's hasn't panned out well. Probably people will, and rightly so in the grand scheme of things. Probably Hogan's was better because it panned out better.
Yeah, honestly, that it's funny, Jordy, because you had mentioned two things. Obviously, the Bash at the Beach incident where he turned heel, being the third man. I was not a fan at that time, but I've obviously seen it replay 1,000,001 times over the years. It's probably one of the most iconic. Him slamming Andre is obviously up there, but the Hogan Rock, like you said, the standoff, legendary, iconic, whatever you want to say it. The match itself, I think, blew people away too, because we literally witnessed an audience that turned him babyface, which was not the plan, while they were working the match. And to see him have that moment, the return home from WCW, even when they came back as the NWO, like this is stuff we never thought would happen, because, there was the bad blood, but when there's money to be made, obviously things pan out. Hogan wasn't even going to be the third man. I'm actually reading a book now that's about the NWO.
Bro, we're trying to do a show. Put the book down.
Say hello to the bad guys. And it's in there, and it talks about how Bischoff went to Hogan well before, wanted to turn him heel. He goes, Hogan essentially threw me out because he had full creative control. Yeah. And then he had made a deal to have Sting be the third man. Sting was supposed to be the third man. And then, as Kevin Nash eloquently says, Hogan saw the money train leaving the station and went, no, brother, you're not leaving without me on it. And called Bischoff and went, who's the third man? And Bischoff's like, it's Sting. He's like, no, it's not. It's me. Like, you know what I mean? So those things panned out. Like, it's one of the most iconic things. Hogan and Sting, just that face off, that, good versus evil. It's what sells in the business. It doesn't matter what year it is. That is always a selling point when you have two forces, good and evil. Yeah. It always sells.
No, 100%, 100%. I'll just bring my final one regarding the favorite moment, and it's to the point where it's not even really canon. It's quite known on YouTube.
It's not canon.
It isn't really, but I mean, like, it's funny to us fans because, like, of just how funny it is. And it is when he did the infamous promo with Vince McMahon, and he couldn't get his words out on the episode of SmackDown, and he couldn't say the right gay guy at the right time, or the wrong time at the right guy, and it was just epic. And you see Vince McMahon just reacting to it, to everything he was saying, but it was like what are you reacting to? Like flipping, like sort it out.
I still think one of the things that will probably likely pop back up, if it hasn't, is the infamous WCW Booker T promo.
Oh God!
Honestly, that's one of those things that people are going to be replaying that.
That would be hilarious. 110%, 110%. Right. Of course. Most importantly, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Thank you for the memory.
And Mr. America. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, of course. He exposed himself at the episode of SmackDown, isn't it? Yeah. We were supposed to know that. Yeah. Funny.
Sean was not a fan of
that shit. Was ass, bro. That shit was ass. Like that shit was that shit was ass. But now respect.
No, bro.
Respect.
What was it? What was his name in over No Holds Barred? Wasn't it Rip 'em or Rip something? In No Holds Barred, wasn't it Rip something?
I never watched that movie.
Okay, with Zeus.
Yeah, I saved my hour and a half doing something else. I've not watched that.
I guarantee somebody's probably going to be showing that this weekend. That and Rocky 3, someone's going to be showing that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Rocky 3 will already be playing somewhere.
Yeah,
100%. Right.
Has Mr. T released a statement?
No, he probably was about to, and then he probably said something about his mother. That's what he usually does. He loves talking about his mother. Moving on. Anyway, less than a week. No, not less than a week. Over a week is gonna be SummerSlam.
About a week.
8 days.
About a week.
It's a week from Saturday.
When you're releasing this?
Yeah, there you go. It's come around so fast, but I think because of Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution, because clearly they needed to have those events during that particular time.
That weekend it definitely needed to happen for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not like we didn't have anything else.
They went all in. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Saturday Night Main Event is ass anyway. Like honestly, like his commercial failed to crash.
And you had the retirement match for the most ass person of all.
And he got his speech cut off.
That's what I'm saying. It was so good they cut him off.
That's the best thing NBC's ever done.
Oh, wow.
That's a hell of a soundbite.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, like I said, SummerSlam is a week from Saturday. It's shaping up to be a pretty good, solid card. However, I do wanted to get you guys' thoughts on technically 3, but yeah, one of the matches has been set, and it's pretty much confirmed after the segment on this past Monday Night Raw, and it is involving Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Sorry, Jordy.
He's contractually obligated to do that.
Jordy Jr., aka.
So yeah, that's been set. It's the return of Roman Reigns after the backstabbing of Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41, all that stuff. Obviously he returned last week, but now he is in his first match. And I don't know about y'all, but I just feel I think I said it on the daily. I don't know how I feel about this being Roman Reigns' return match. No disrespect, absolutely no disrespect to Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They are the future of the business. I get it. But given the aura and you heard that pop when Roman Reigns returned. You heard that pop when he did the segment on Monday Night Raw. That guy is aura, like right there. Like that's he commands the room. He doesn't even have to do much. He just got to have that. You can see them just absorbing the electricity from the crowd and whatnot. And he's just like, yeah, I got you in the palm of my hand. Like
it's in the DNA. It's that family.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like the fact that at one point, 2015. We hated this guy. I hated this guy. I could not fucking stand this motherfucker. Like, it was the way they were shoving him down our throats. And then ever since when I saw that segment, when you see him pairing up with Paul Heyman during the pandemic era, I was just like, okay, I'm Team Roman Reigns right now. This is going to be special. And lo and behold, it was. But this, I feel like, considering like obviously the command that he has and all that kind of stuff, I just feel like this is a bit of a step down, for someone of his, his stature, his status. I'm not saying that he should always be just gunning for the title and nothing else. I get that, but I just feel like this is a step down, considering that this is his return match. This is not like something that you would just throw in an episode of SmackDown. When, to be fair, in my opinion, this could be just like a main event of an episode of SmackDown. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I feel like this should have had Seth Rollins in it.
Don't wrestle on SmackDown, bro.
No, not on SmackDown. No, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like this match.
It's a TV main event. It's a TV main event.
Right now, it's a TV main event. If it had Seth Rollins in it, maybe it could sway me for it to be on SummerSlam. So that's why I feel like now I understand there is a continuation of the story from Mania, but because obviously the step down and the loss of a very pivotal and important character, I feel like this is almost like I feel like they could have saved him for something else until Seth Rollins maybe was at ringside or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Like, do you feel like this is like a side mission to what they could really use Roman Reigns in, whether it is regarding a title or someone of a bigger name than Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? So I just wanted to get your thoughts. Let's go start with Jordy, because you've been I like you. So yeah, that's
I've
fine.
been barking.
Oh,
Oh, he likes you.
That's nice, right?
yes,
Yeah,
what's your
right.
thoughts on it?
I guess it kind of does. I guess it kind of does. I think what's happened is Seth Rollins has got injured, and they've probably brought Roman Reigns back because they're like, oh, we kind of need you. And I don't know. I think the tie of Paul Heyman is what you could argue makes it beyond the side mission. My only issue with that is we've not had enough time to really make us like we are invested in Paul versus Roman, whatever. But you need to layer the story a bit better. I need to like even if it was Bronson doing 5 splashes on Roman or something like that, like it really does, and perhaps that's why it feels like a side quest. It kind of does feel like it's like, right, what can we do? What match can we put together? Well, no one in the stadium is going to be mad if we pair Roman Reigns with Jey Uso, because that will absolutely bring the house down in terms of their entrance, and people love those two. So it maybe feels a bit cut and stick, makeshift. Let's try and make something out of this, because this definitely wasn't the way we were intending. That's how it feels to me. But I think it's just a bit above a side quest because of the Paul Heyman tie. I think if it was just like Braun versus Braun, and if Paul Heyman wasn't in the picture, I would totally agree that it's like a TV main event at best. But yeah, I'm just intrigued to see where we go, because like who goes over in this match? I don't know. Is it gonna main event? Like there's so many questions. This really doesn't feel like it should main event right now. I also don't know if like, and I'm happy CM Punk won. Good for Phil. Go and get your title shot at SummerSlam. That's all good. But there's a little bit of me that feels like it should be Jay, Punk, and Roman versus Seth, Braun, and Bronson. I don't know. So yeah, I perhaps agree with you that he feels like he's not and could be in a bigger match in a bigger place on the card. But I think that tie of Paul Heyman just brings it a little bit above a side quest for me, because it's like, nah, I'm invested in that story. I just want to be told more of it. I want to be given the opportunity to, I don't know, like, what I want to see Paul hit Roman or something like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I want to see, or like hold him while Braun hits a spear on him or something like that. Say something that really cuts Roman deep, because so far Roman's been going at him. He's called him a dumbass a few times, but Paul's not said anything nasty to Roman. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not actually come out and been like, I used you. Like, I don't care about your family. I never did. Like, it's something like that that makes us go, oh, right, okay. Now I'm annoyed because you fooled me. So yeah, I think we just need a little bit more. I wish we had a couple more weeks, but we've only got what? One Raw left. So
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I agree. I feel like something is definitely missing for me to really care. As and like I said, I think you pitched the perfect 6-man tag. I think that would have definitely elevated it a bit more. Obviously, things can be helped if there is injuries involved and whatnot. But yeah, I just feel like something is missing from this, and I just don't feel just because it's Roman Reigns, this should automatically be a main event. I personally don't think this should be a main event on either nights. There is other better paced, better
matches,
but that should warrant one of those nights, which we'll get to later on. But yeah, I just feel like this is something that should be played out on TV rather than on a PLE, so to speak, if that makes sense. But I guess you do need to have Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That's a given. But I feel like it could have done better. What about you, Shad? Do you agree? Do you think he's doing side missions, or how are you feeling about this whole story right now?
So I wouldn't call it a side mission per se. I think the story was built within Seth and Roman having their feud against each other, and all kind of that's transpired between them. But the unfortunate situation is Seth is injured, and then we can't get to that at this point. And to that same loss as Seth, I feel like it's impacted the members of his team as well. I feel like a Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are kind of being thrown in the fire. And the only way to make this match salvageable in a sense is they have to win. They have to beat Roman Reigns and they have to beat Jey Uso in some magnitude to kind of build themselves as more legitimate stars. And I'm curious to see if that is the direction that's going to be, because if it's not, yeah, this is just a wasted match. This is Roman being on the card to be on the card, allowing him and Jay to, team with each other in a feel-good moment. But they're going against less kind of notable people. What I would rather have seen is, a longer weighted game, something in a different direction, and eventually leading to a Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns one-on-one match. The thing with the booking in the WWE is that we go with these tag matches and then some screwy finish happens and then we go to it. Like, that's kind of how we do the building blocks for it, and we do it very quickly. A lot of it is due to the PLE structure that we just spoke about before. But in this one, yeah, man, it feels like a waste of I wouldn't say a waste, but it feels like a bit of an underwhelming match because, look, man, this guy is the face of the company. Whether anybody wants to agree or disagree, debate with whoever you want to debate with, but he is the last big draw for the WWE. He is what made wrestling in the WWE arguably cool in a mainstream vision. Like, the tribal chief is one of the most bad actors that you can create. And for me, whenever you have him, it's either got to be in a main event match or it's got to be for a title. At this current juncture, Cody's going against Cena. That's not going to happen. I don't think they're going to put him in a match with a Gunther. Maybe if Punk was the champion, we could have sold ourselves for that. But it does seem like it's like your best player, in the league is having a little scrimmage against the practice squad guys. So I will say it is to that. Yeah, it does feel like a little bit of a side mission there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I'm not. I just don't know how to feel about it. It's I mean, don't get me wrong, the match is going to be great. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like you got Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed doing Bronson Reed things. But yeah, it's just I guess it all depends on the fallout. There might be a little twist. You never know. This might actually be a work, and Surf is actually not injured. And then
Jimmy's gonna join the Bronze.
Not.
Yeah.
If Seth is like, if it is a work and he comes in, then that can definitely salvage it in a way. But like, I don't know, man. I don't think his faction has been built well enough for the other guys to feel like they're important.
No,
I don't know.
No.
It like they just kind of feel like goobers in a way. And I like Braun Breaker. I see the potential in him, but I feel like there's so much rawness still in him that he still needs to cook up. Like, they need to keep him.
I mean, they tried
for a little bit long.
They tried with the gauntlet. They tried to build him up because he lasted the longest out of the gauntlet. But again, yeah, like you can't just tell that in just his one match.
His promo ability, it's so like overacting. The barking and all of that. He's like trying to be. It seems like not authentic in a sense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That one when he was randomly barking at thingy backstage.
Yeah.
Was it Brian Saxton?
Yeah. I think Roman it's not to the same level of what Cena did to Theory. It's not that, but the way Roman spoke down to him on Monday, I think it made people feel like I say it's nowhere near that same level, but he called him Junior. He spoke down to him, and I think then that exaggerates the fact that actually Roman is so much calmer on the mic than this guy. Like, you almost want to go, Bron, just chill, bro, just calm down. But and I know he's playing that part. I just feel like somebody aura farming the way that Roman does. Yeah, it's just like sucks it out of everyone else.
It's like a really good rookie player is doing the best, and you like, oh, we see the potential. But then, like, Tom Brady steps in, or then Michael Jordan steps in, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I forgot that this is different.
I remember the first time I saw Nadal play Federer at Wimbledon. It was like that. It was like, yeah, you're good, but you're not Federer good just yet, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
settle down,
Exactly.
bro.
It's levels.
I mean,
like you could possibly
Oh, he'll
get there
get
at some
there.
point.
He'll get there. And Roman's
Yeah.
playing a part in that right now, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. Last but not least, Anthony, what's your thoughts on the Roman Reigns situation? Do you agree that he's doing side missions? Do you think he should be in a bigger match? Like, what's your thoughts on this current match? Let me know your thoughts.
I think it's really hard to book Roman because I think he's of a level right now that very few have ever been on. Like, he's got that aura where it feels like if he's not a world champion or not going for a world championship, it feels lesser. And I think that's part of it. I think that's why it feels lesser if it's not for a world title or it's not one of those dream matches or one of those feuds like him against Seth. Or, and this is probably a pipe dream, but if it ever happens, I think we all kind of want to see Roman, Seth, and Moxley. Now that all the success of the Shield, I think that's one of those matches that like would not feel like a lesser match. You don't need a title. The names alone do it. Him against, Rock, if that ever happens. I know that's the Rock and his dream thing. But again, that's a marquee match. Doesn't need a belt. Him and Braun Breaker, him and Jacob Fatu. I think those are like matches where you could go, okay, this doesn't feel like forced. This feels like, in the sense for Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu would be like a passing of the torch thing, assuming Roman would eventually put them over. I would assume. I think Seth would have been involved in this situation if he wasn't injured. I get it because they want to do it with Paul. They're paying Roman too much money, and SummerSlam being 2 nights, the first time ever, there's a lot of pressure on this show to perform, to justify going, no, not just Mania, it needs to be 2 nights. We could do multiples. I think that's a huge reason why. When you think about it, it's the first SummerSlam that's going to be on the network or on the Netflix. Netflix is like, no, we need numbers. We need numbers. So like, thus Roman and Jey Uso. I get the tag match. I don't necessarily think it's a side quest. I feel it more as a placeholder because right now they can't put Roman in the title picture because it just won't work. Because I don't think they didn't want Roman against Gunther. They don't want that, obviously, because they want Punk and Gunther. And Cena's got his own thing going with Cody that's probably going to end up in the double turn, a la WrestleMania 13. That's where I'm thinking that's going. You could go Punk and Roman again if Punk gets the belt, but it's going to be weird to have Roman feud with Seth stable without Seth. Like I get why you're doing it because obviously it makes sense when Roman comes back. If he's not going for Seth because Seth ain't there, he's got to go for the wise man that betrayed him. Like that's just logical from a storyline standpoint. Like you couldn't bring him back and going, okay, he's going against Gunther now, and he's shoehorning his way into a triple threat match with Punk, and like that really wouldn't work. So I feel like he had to go with Heyman if you're bringing him back. I understand why they're doing it. It's financial. I understand that's why you're doing it, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you do with Roman because I don't know how much longer he's going to do this. And he was built up so well. He puts them in a very difficult spot of where you actually put him. Because anywhere other than a main event, other than a world title match, feels lesser. It's a shame, but it's like true. He's reached this plateau where it's like, you just don't. Anything feels less.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
Victim of his own success in a way.
Yeah. Exactly. Like he's been booked so well that it's like, okay, well now you're so over. Like
the thing is as well, we're not where we were when and I watched it back recently when he didn't have anything and they did the
The dog food and the mascot?
No. After that, when Cody had the title and they did the vignette, the cinematic promo on the field at Georgia State,
Georgia, yes.
and that didn't feel like a side mission. Although it was a tag match, it just didn't. It felt they were making. It felt huge. The production of that 3-minute clip was just so good. It got us even more invested in this rivalry that we've been sat with for 2 manias. And now nothing that's happened so far on this build up to this match has even come close in an attempt to make us care that much.
Is there anything right now on the show that's been
together.
booked to that magnitude or importance though? Like everything feels like it's microwave because they're just banging out matches to have matches on PLEs because the one PLE's closed and then you got another one down the road. Like I feel like that's why the booking's kind of like the only thing that doesn't feel microwaved is Cody and Cena because that's a long lasting story from
also Naomi. I'll give her that.
Yes, Naomi.
Naomi, Rhea, and that stuff. That actually doesn't feel microwave because that felt like a flash in a pan, perfect moment, perfect cash in. So I'm invested. All of a sudden, it's new. Like,
but that's still a fresh storyline because it just happened a couple weeks ago.
You're right. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I guess that'd be a good segue to the.
Yes, let's talk about this topic, shall we? First of obviously before that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Not like, share, subscribe. Leave the thoughts in the comments regarding the Roman Reigns situation. Do you think it's a side mission and everything else in between?
But do like, share, and subscribe as well.
They should be doing that as well.
I usually do that at the end, so that's all. Just like it just felt that's what I meant. Please like, share, and subscribe, obviously, and also Wrestling Republic undercard and all that good stuff. Okay, then so. Back to the controversy because I'm known to kind of stir the pot when it comes to this, and I get crucified, but that's what we're here for. It's fine. So
that's what's written on the table.
That's what's written on the table. Yeah, exactly. So I made a little statement regarding which I did. It actually went pretty decent on the daily on Tuesday regarding like what matches should main event SummerSlam. Because as always, when it comes to these 2 nights, there's usually a little discussion of like, which matches should. And then when they realize it's mainly favors one gender, people kind of start having an uproar. Like, why can't y'all share it? Like, why can't y'all share it? So I'm just like, that's what happened with WrestleMania. And I said something like that. And I just absolutely got massive.
I was on that show.
Yes, you was actually. Yeah, no, that was fun to hear the response on that. From both fans of Wrestling Republic and within the team as well. That was very interesting. Because obviously there was rumblings that this could also be the main event. We all know one of them is definitely going to happen, which is John Cena and Cody Rhodes 2. That's most likely going to be
as it should.
It should. And then people say, "Oh, because it's Roman Reigns, he needs to have the night 1." But then and then obviously when you say that, then people saying, "Oh, why can't Naomi, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky have night 1? And why is that?" And I'm just like, it shouldn't be based on gender or just sharing. It all depends on the story that you're telling. That is what I've always tried to portray in terms of, especially when it came to Mania, where obviously the main event for night 2 was Cena and Cody, and the night 1 was obviously the triple threat. And obviously everyone was saying, no, it should be Bianca, Io, and Rhea. But the story was better told from those previous 2 matches. So, and sure, obviously we were proven wrong because the match quality for the triple threat, that was my number 1 favorite match of 2025 so far. So that's so they proved that it was the main event on the opener of night 2. Fair enough. That doesn't always work. That ain't always the case. But the story was way laid out, better laid out on the previously announced main event matches. The same thing when it comes to this. Whereas for me, I think this is actually flipped. I feel like, I don't think Roman should be main eventing any of the nights. It should probably be Naomi, Rhea, and Io. But it's not just because for equality's sake, it's because of storyline's sake. But I don't know if some people don't really see it that way. They just feel like equality is equality. So I just wanted to obviously get your guys' thoughts on this situation. What matches or what match do you think should really main event night one? Night two's a given. That's pretty much going to be so Cody and Cena, as it should be. But for night one, if you don't agree with my take, what is your thoughts on the equality argument and also what should be the main event? Who did I start first? Okay, so Shad, you're gonna go first because you haven't done go first. So what's your thoughts on the situation, please?
So this is a very nuanced conversation because the conversation about equality is one where I think I agree with you on, but I agree with you on a different standpoint. I don't think we need to just give a match for the sake of giving a match as, okay, one night it's the men's, one night it's the women's, as a checkbox situation. I do agree with you. I think the biggest stars or the biggest storyline deserves to be in a main event slot. We had that conversation about in AEW with Mariah May and Tony Storm's Hollywood ending. That was probably the best storyline in AEW that entire year. It probably deserved an opportunity to be in the main event spot. And in this year's, like I mentioned, a lot of these matches, besides the one that's going to main event night two, feels like it's thrown in the microwave, trying to see what warms up and heats up the best. On this case, there's two matches. One is obviously CM Punk versus Gunther. Gunther is our world champion. CM Punk is one of the biggest superstars in pro wrestling today. Punk's got a world title match. This is something that means a lot to him. This is a moment potentially that could be big. Punk returning back into the WWE, winning his first world title. That could be massive. But Naomi is the reason why I think, and I agree with you, Naomi, Io, and Rhea need the main event night one. Naomi has arguably had one of the most shocking moments on a weekend that was a jam-packed weekend of professional wrestling. She cashed in, and she cashed in on who we didn't expect her to cash in on. She's had some of the best character work in all of the WWE. She has made herself a superstar. Rhea Ripley is a superstar. She is one of the biggest, and when I said the biggest star should be in these biggest matches, she's one of the biggest stars that's on this card that's not John Cena. That's not Roman Reigns. Like, she's probably the third person after that. Maybe her and Cody are fighting for that third spot, but she's damn near up there. You hear the crowd erupt anytime she enters in the arena. And then you talk about Io Scott, who has become a absolute phenom in regards to the world of the WWE. Her and Rhea have that chemistry this year that's had two classic matches. Probably the two best women's matches in the WWE are against each other. I think with the star power, the storyline, everything that Naomi has garnered into it, they have earned, keyword earned, that because they put in the work and they did that. And it's not a situation where we're going to be like, the women should get it just because we don't have women's matches and we need to pull up all the history books. No. They built themselves that, and they built the equality of it because they show that they are as great as their counterparts on the opposite gender of men. So to that point, yes, I think in this situation, I think those women have earned themselves that main event slot for night one.
There we go. Fair enough. Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. It's it all depends on the story and the momentum and whatnot, and not just be a checkbook. And that's what I've been saying, but not many people actually just don't see it. They just feel like,
empower to the women, bro, because they were given that evolution without any build, and all of the women, every single one of those women on that entire show, from the first match to the main event to the the little battle royal, they all knocked it out the park. And that's what I've been saying, that there's gonna be a tide in the turn, bro. They're gonna see that shit showed them. They're like, yo, we need to and you seen it Monday Night Raw. There's 2-3 women's matches on both of the last two episodes since Evolution on the build to SummerSlam.
This is why I think it's a different situation, and I think that I think if you use the word checkbox, I think it paints it in a bad image. I think if you use your word equality and stuff like that, I think for me it's just like common sense and fairness. Like there's two divisions, there's two competitions, there's two main events for these things. I just don't understand I don't understand why one division should be guaranteed one, that is what's happening, and one division aren't. So like it's fine, but like if we're gonna do it, we need to just take away and say, right, it's not gonna happen. The main event, you know what I mean? It does feel like Cody wins, he's guaranteed that main event shot. They had no intention of putting Jade Cargill in the night one main event slot, and that's where I'm like, they do write the story. It's their job to get us invested in whichever stories they want us to be the most invested in. They had no intention of putting Jade in the night one main event. So that's where I'm like, it does feel a bit of disparity between how one division, the winner of one division's competition is treated in comparison to the other. And I always think, and I know it's dramatic, but like you think of the little girl watching and goes, I want to main event WrestleMania. The little boy watching can look and go, I want to main event WrestleMania. I need to win the Royal Rumble. The little girl goes, I could win the Royal Rumble and probably will just get chucked on night one, open night. And it's like that's where I'm just like, it's not a case of equality. It's a case of just fairness between two divisions, which quite honestly, to me, we're not where we were 10, 15 years ago. We're not where we've got a handful of women that could potentially main event. We're in a place where we've got a bunch that could, and it's a guarantee that they could given the opportunity. But like you've got, like you said, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, who that could have been the main event. Do you know what I mean? And what it felt like at the time, and my Mania issue was like there was a title getting fought between three of the most iconic women within this industry right now, a generational trio, right? And what it felt like was that three blokes arguing about the past was more important than that match, which it shouldn't be in WWE's eyes. And that's where I'm just like, I don't think it's a tick box situation. I think if you're gonna say, right, it doesn't matter if you win, you probably won't main event. We are just gonna go. We're gonna make that decision 4 months before, based on who the audience is most invested in. We're not going to say who's going to main event until a month before, and then we can make that call, because in that 4 weeks, it's probably not really going to change too much in terms of what people most want to see. I don't have a problem with that. I have an issue with if you're going to guarantee the minute, but not the women. That's where I'm like, well, surely it should be no one's guaranteed it, or they both are for the respective nights. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm just a bit like, I probably disagree in a sense. I don't think it should just be a checkbox though, but I don't think we're in a position where it is a checkbox situation anymore. I think it's like, I think we've got plenty of talent that can deliver, and the two divisions are a lot closer than they used to be in terms of ability. So I think that's where, and yeah, but for the record, I agree. I think that the triple threat should main event night one. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog.
I was wondering what that sound was. I was like, what the hell?
Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's not. It's very, very faint. It's all good. So yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So yeah, we got three, including me, regarding what should be number one. Or Shadows. He also mentioned CM Punk versus Gunther, which I ain't gonna lie. Even though flipping, I love that feud. I completely forgot that was actually announced on SummerSlam. So I'm glad for that. Last but not least, Anthony. What's your thoughts on the situation regarding this? I'm pretty sure you have your ladder fluid and matches at the ready. So please, the floor is yours.
No, this is one of those things that, like you, Chaos, I've never been of the thought process of going, oh, well, one night is guaranteed the men, one night's guaranteed the women. I've said that about WrestleMania. I think the two best stories should main event. They're also considering star power with these things. I don't think Cody is guaranteed that night at SummerSlam because he's a guy. I think it's because it's the story, it's the name, it's the build. Because if you're looking at that, like Jey Uso didn't main event either night of Mania, and neither Rumble winner main evented this past year. So I think it's when you look at it, it's not just wrestling fans. They're looking at it from a financial standpoint of, okay, name recognition, merch being sold, who appeals to not just the hardcore wrestling fans. They're looking at numbers we don't have access to. Would it be an ideal world that's 1-1? Yeah. But I look at it as, I don't care what the gender is. The two best stories, the two most matches that people want to see should be the main events. I don't look at it of going, oh, well, it's 1-1. That makes it fair. Does it really? From an audience standpoint, if they're more interested in these two women and these other 3 women or something main eventing the 2 nights, then do that. Like, it should be what is the most compelling and what the audience most wants to see. I don't want to see Roman main event in a tag match. I don't think that match has the star power or the build to justify a main event slot. I think either the triple threat women's match that was mentioned, or Punk going for a world title. Now, I think you do Punk only if Punk's winning this thing. If Punk's going to lose to Gunther, that's not the main event. If you want to end the night with Punk winning a world title, his first in WWE in, over a decade, you could do that, but I don't think you just give it to Roman and because he's Roman. Like, I don't think it works. If it was Roman and Gunther for a world title, okay, it's Roman and Gunther main eventing. It's the name. It's name marquee value. That's what it is. Good, better, and different. Money talks in this business. Always has. Always will. At the end of the day. But yeah, I think it's the best story in the biggest names. Should main event personally.
No, yeah, it's logical. It's logical. And yeah, I feel like, if Roman Reigns was still champion, I think there would be an argument that he could have to say that, like, listen, I'm the champion. I'm I better be the main event. But he hasn't got the belt now, so he doesn't really have that. Like, logically, he shouldn't have that kind of pull. Give him co-main, I think that's just as good. That's just as good as being the main event.
The thing is as well, though, I think the issue goes outside of SummerSlam and WrestleMania, right? It goes to, like, Logan Paul's main evented more events than Rhea Ripley, probably. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Jinder Mahal's probably main evented more events than Rhea Ripley. Do you know what I mean? Like, they need to main event more. Like, off the top of my head, if we count Evolution, because it's an all women's PLE, but Rhea main evented, and Elimination Chamber in Perth, and I think they're the only 2 times. And like we all know, like we said, she's one of the biggest stars within the company, male or female. So I think this is why I'm like, I don't agree with ticking boxes for the sake of it, but do we have to for a bit just to get us in the groove of actually having women main event and getting people used to it? Because right now it feels like outside of even these 2, the chance where you get 2 nights, they're not even they don't stand a chance when it's just a 1-night one. Where you get 2 nights, I'm like, shouldn't we just for a bit to showcase these on the biggest stage? And I just think that's where I'm just, it goes beyond SummerSlam and shit, right?
So when I say ticking boxes, I'm not saying it. I'm saying it in a way where it's a deeper rooted issue. I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. Actually, I think I see what you're saying 100% visible. I think the deeper rooted issue is how women's wrestling is booked in totality. I think you need to put Rhea Ripley in positions, as you should put her in positions, to get these type of matches, like you book Roman Reigns or CM Punk or whoever may potentially get the main event spot, right? Like, it's a way deeper rooted issue rather than just giving, like, because
we're going to see more than ever as well, right? With this show, we're going to see more than ever. Was this the intention? Do you run with the punches, or do you know your main event 4 months out, because if that's the case, they have no intention of going with what's the biggest story. They go with what they think will be the biggest story, in which case book a women's storyline to be one of the biggest stories. I think that's where I'm like, they create the narrative here, and they can create it. They've got the talent to create 2 main events, one on the men's side, one on the women's side, that we are heavily invested in, because they don't need to use them all every year, right? It could be Bianca and Rhea one year, then it could be Io and Naomi, then it could be, you know what I mean? There's a lot of names. Tiffy, you'll get there. Like,
even Becky and Lyra is probably the best book.
Becky, of course, yeah, Becky.
The best, like, consistently booked storyline, maybe on the entire show, because it's been going on for some time now.
Yeah.
Since Mania. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Just don't let Jelly Roll main event, or I'm not watching.
Oh, sweet mother of God!
Yeah, we can't do that.
But then again,
because then Logan will get another one.
No, then again, bro. No, then again.
No, I'm just saying, that's an example. Is if there was a coherent, great story behind it, I don't think we would even mind if that was the case. If, like,
I think I would. I think I would.
Here's
no,
the thing.
Joking.
When you bring a celebrity in, it doesn't really matter where it's placed on the card. It's going to get coverage outside of the wrestling bubble, which is what they're after. That's exactly what they're after.
I just kind of wish it wasn't Randy and Drew. I kind of wish we had like a Chad Gable, and in an ideal world, I would love like a Santino Marella in this match. Do you know what I mean? Someone that's going to make this match fun and funny. The Miz is a plug and play.
And Randy appreciated though, because there's a level of like cross promotion that Jelly Roll has done. Like, he had him on like with the Tonight Show, right? Where they had a little bit of a
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel,
I'd rather have Logan tied up in a celebrity match. I feel that like Randy and Drew, it's like, all right, they're a bit too main event stars to be. But hey, if they're having, but like I say, it feels like the Miz territory, and I stand by that Dom should be with Logan because he's starting to get cheered, so he needs to get booed again. So stick him with Logan, and he'll get booed again.
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, we can all agree that it should never be a checkbox thing. It should be all about what is hot and what is not. Just enjoy it. You know, I just don't think like it should be an equality thing. It's all about how the story has been told and what is being most engaged. You know, because I remember there was just to wrap it up. I remember there was WrestleMania 39. There was that, I think the one that we went to, there was that long argument. What was going to main event night one? Was it going to be Charlotte versus Rhea, or was it going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos?
I remember most of our thought was it should have been the tag match, because the biggest story going into that Mania was the Bloodline, which is the same thing at 40. Like, to me, that's the driving force.
But there was two halves of us. I mean, in that group, I remember there was us that was saying the tag match, and there was others that was saying it should be Charlotte and Rhea because of.
For me, this isn't to do with. I would have had Rhea and Charlotte main event, and this is probably hindsight because of the banger they put on, and so did the tag match. But I remember at the time thinking I'd have quite liked to see both Bloodline matches in one night, one open and one close the night, and just tie it all in one evening. So that was why at the time I was like, no, I don't know if I'd like to see us open with a tag match on night 2 and then close with the main match. Do you know what I mean? But they were both bangers. That was the thing. Charlotte and Rhea and the tag match were both bangers.
In hindsight, I believe they wanted the visual of them holding the belt. And considering how night 2 ended with Cody losing, I don't think they wanted to start high and then badly.
Because Rhea was technically the heel in that, right? She was supposed to be. But that was a hell of a match. But that shows just a bit of a contrast and I guess a full circle.
Yeah.
After, the triple threat match from this Mania with Bianca, Io, and Rhea, I remember the main event. I remember thinking, well, that was a hell of a main event and it was better than the night 1. That was a hell of a match and it was better match than the night 1 main event. Whereas, I remember as much of a banger as Charlotte and Rhea was, I wasn't thinking immediately after it, that the tag match shouldn't have main evented. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas I kind of did feel like that this year. So, strange.
Very, very, very strange. But Very insightful takes from you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. What do you think about this? You know, do you agree that Roman shouldn't be the main event, or you think it should be the women should be main eventing out of, you know, more of logical and not of a necessity, in necessity's sake? So leave your thoughts in the comments. On that note, we have come to the end of a very, very good episode, I must say, for y'all. I think it's safe to say that the table has been intact. It hasn't fully burned down. It was just a little, you know, little flames
Singed.
here and there, but it's all good. It's been singed, but it's all good. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. Definitely. Thank you very much, Anthony. Thank you very much, Jordy. Thank you very much, Shad, for joining us at the table. Now, like I said, in previous parts of the show, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go and check out the Wrestling Republic undercard. There's plenty of shows on there. You got the Soul Separately show, Spotlight, Grappling for Position. What else is on there? I think that's about it.
Off the air on there as well.
Off the air as well. Apologies. Apologies. Off the air that comes on after every episode of NXT. And of course the Daily Show on the main channel, and of course Take It to the Table on the main channel. Yeah, everything else in between. You might see David's delicious DDTs on there at some point. We don't know. That's patent pending. But anyway, as always, I have been your host, Chaos. This has been Take It to the Table. See you next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.
This episode is brought to you by Wraith Energy. Wraith Energy is the perfect drink for gamers. It offers 200 milligrams of caffeine, 1,000 milligrams of taurine, antioxidants, amino acids, zero sugar. It gives me that extra edge to beat Roman Reigns on Legendary on 2K24. It also helps when I'm forced by Ben Allison to do videos for him about his love for soul. Just by using my promo code ChaosWraith, you get 10% off your entire order. They have awesome flavors such as the Cosmo, the WTD, the Sour Apple, Gamer Bathwater, or my personal favorite, Porn Star.
Hello, ladies.
No clumps, no grainy aftertaste, just absolutely amazing. So use promo code ChaosWraith right now and get 10% off your order. Thank you, Wraith, for sponsoring this video.
Chaos.